Mantra revisited. This is such an important subject. I think I've spoken about the subject about 3 or 4 times already. But the more I think about it and the more I'm utilizing it, and I realize the importance of it, in spirituality practice across the board. So I want to discuss that today and how you could utilize it to tremendously boost your progress and, of course, assist you as well, and some do's and don'ts. So, for those of you who like the contents of my video, please don't forget to press like and subscribe if you haven't already. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And if you could drop a comment, I would love to hear from you. And if you could even share it with some of your social media channels, that would be a super duper great help. For those of you who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I am a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. And I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching it now for 46 years. In that time, I've studied under great masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures, and across the globe, from the Far East, the East, the Middle East, the West, and including the scientific communities. Of course, this is not an exhaustive field, so there's so much to learn from so many cultures, um, that it's not possible, for one person to even touch the surface of what's to be known. But what I've basically done is I've created my own protocols, focusing on making things faster, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented, basically adapting ancient sciences to the 21st century. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries, and my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com. Please also remember my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, for those of you who don't know mantras, it is an incantation, and it can come from ancient books or something that you can create on your own. Many people prefer to create their own mantra because you want to achieve a certain particular objective or perspective. Maybe you want to increase um, um, like positivity, or you have a particular goal to focus on um, uh, improving strategies or sales performance in your company, or improving your skills in the job market and improving your value. There's any number of things that you could want to, and this, I suppose, would be something more common. And if you use a particular directive in your spirituality or mindfulness practice. So we assuming that mindfulness is the foundation and the base of all your practices, and this can be developed from that platform. So mindfulness is something where you're getting to your alpha state or your calm state. You are removing all the um, subconscious blocks and restlessness of mind, and getting to a state of peace and harmony, and where just being in a state of peace and harmony, of course, is very helpful. But we all living in a society where we need to have some type of mission or goal or purpose, right? So finding your purpose and tailoring your goals around that can become your mantra. But of course, most people who read the title, of this video, mantra, they're considering some type of incantation that's coming from some spiritual background, like from a shaman background or a Buddhist background. They get Tibetan Buddhism that delves into Tantra, and Kashmiri Saivism that goes deep into Tantra, where mantras actually arise from. That's the origins of mantra. Tantra is just techniques and rules and regulations surrounding the practice of mantra. And the mantra from the ancient books and even books on magic and witchcraft and so forth, um, where you trying to invoke certain entities and you recite their names or certain combination of words and so forth, to bring about a particular result. So this is the science of mantra, right? Where you using a predefined set of words or sounds to bring about a specified result. So maybe you want to improve your health, improve your finances, improve your intuition, your creativity. Um, Also, there are some mantras to control the minds of other people, right? So maybe there is love mantras, right? So depending if you, I mean, now the internet is there, you can find and you can research and you can practice these things, right? So generally, most people would find that none of these mantras work, right? And it's not that the mantras don't work. There's a greater likelihood that the mantras all work than um, you feeling that there's nothing in it, because it's more likely that you don't have the power to harness the benefit or the invoke the power of the mantra. So this is not something which is like astrophysics or something. It's something quite simple to gain that power. It's just that you need to awaken, right? So this is a common term. I said awaken, I'm awakened and invoke. It's some type of mystical experience that one has, and you become awakened spiritually. It's like some type of transition or out of body experience. Different people experience it in different ways. Once you have this type of experience, then the chance of a mantra working is like 99.99%. So you need to know the rules, what number. Sometimes some of them will have certain time which you have to do and a certain minimum number and so forth, right? So the rules differ for different mantras, and there are some which are benign mantras that just bring about positive feeling and so forth and does not give you any power. But there are some that do give you power, right? And the more I'm doing research on this, I never go too much into the science. I suffice that I did study it, under masters and know the power of it and so forth. But I never delve into the contemporary aspects, of it. I just delved into some of the ancient wisdoms, surrounding these mantras, and there's a lot. So from the ancient wisdom, especially from India, the yogic sciences, the origin of the yogic sciences from the Vedas. So can't even say Vedanta because Vedanta is like a particular type of school of thought, let's say from the Hindu culture, right? It's a common term, although it's an incorrect word, but it's a common phase from that culture. There are estimated a minimum of 33 million mantras, right? So there's something, it's just for you to know which one and how to use it. Which one, what's the rules, and how to, recite it, and you do it correctly. And the chance of you getting it right these days is very high because of internet. You just have to do comparative research, to make sure you got the right group of words and the right rules, and study deeply before you get into it. And I heard a report today on something I didn't know was possible, right? Of course, I mean, everything is possible with mantra, but I didn't know this was so practical and which may resonate with a lot of you. And this was like a love mantra, like to get someone to fall in love with you. Wow. So I'm originally from South Africa, and in South Africa there is love potions, right? So it's something that's very powerful. I had experience of being a victim of it on multiple occasions, and I know just that because we'll say use the word awakened, right? It's a common term. From a young age, I'm able to differentiate between myself and my mind, and this goes and affects the mind. And I know my mind is acting crazy, it's stupid, and it's not, and this is not normal, you know. Then I know there is some type of influence because, and I know about these things. It must be this because it's showing an uncanny addiction for someone, like an infatuation. And I know I'm not infatuated, right? So that's the amazing thing of being able to differentiate between yourself, your mind, and your body, you know, to know the difference. And this comes with long standing practice. And even to get awakened is not that difficult. You know, these days you're going to keep trying something that's interests you, and you're going to find something that works. If you seek, you shall find, right? And you'll become awakened. It's an easy thing. And I assist people in awakening, but I do it in a more professional way, where I unblock the pathways or stumbling blocks, so that in the event of involuntary kundalini awakening, because that can happen involuntarily, it can, suddenly start shooting up, it doesn't become harmful. So I clear the pathway and make things stable. And I do like a partial activation and guidance of that life force energy, which people term, Kundalini, so that its development becomes safe, when you practice this process. But coming back to mantra, the one thing that caught me is, there is specific mantra, and this person knows of a friend of his. He was telling me that a friend of his tried this love mantra, and he had a negative experience because that person became crazily infatuated in him, to the level he didn't know how to reverse it, because he got what he wanted, and then he wanted it to stop. He didn't know how to stop it, right? So uh, you have to also be careful, when you're trying these things out. And the same friend who told me this, he said he purchased a book on witchcraft, right? I say, that type of thought never even crossed my mind. All my life I'm in the spirituality field, to buy something like that. I mean, I know, I've got clients who are satanics and so forth. I'm not judgmental on them, but I don't delve into it. I don't go and do research on this type of thing, right? Because I don't want to get drawn into this that direction. It's a very negative spiral direction, right? And I want to stay on the positive side of things, because I know that there is daytime and nighttime. There's the right side and the left side. There's the inside and the outside. There's the upside and the downside. There's the dark world and the light world. I want to stay, on the light side, and prefer to be among the light workers than a practitioner of black arts or black magic, right? So I'm mentioning this thing about mantra, and there are practical things. And now the books are available, information is available left, right, and center, and a lot of people are delving into this. And just as a warning, be very careful. I know of people, in this field of mantra that lost their lives, right? And it's something extremely dangerous. I had, because amongst my healing services, although I specialize in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, also dealt with physiological, psychological, and even spiritual problems. Type of spiritual problems is some people make contracts with entities from other dimensions, and just playing around, thinking these things are very serious. You can't come out of those type of contracts, It can destroy you. I mentioned a client, and he was a practitioner of magic, you can say, and he does healing, and he can cast spells and remove spells. He can even cast spells, right? So people like this get very interested with the spirit world, and he made a contract with one of the spirit entities because they wouldn't. There's nothing for nothing in this world. It's some you have to make some type of agreement, and there must be some exchange, a transaction, right? It won't be monetary, right? Because they're not interested in our money, right? It'll be something that they would want, and I don't know the type of things they would want. They would probably want that you dedicate your practice to them, or make some type of sacrifices for them, or mention them, or give them opportunity, to be a part of your activities and interactions with other humans, right? Because they want to possess, and draw power and energy. And because of the field I'm in, I have to do protection, incantation and protection prayers, very powerful, known, and there's no such thing as something is all powerful. No one is all powerful, and neither can I. I've just been lucky that I found things that work, from religious scriptures, and know how to, use it, for my protection. And I have to use it very frequently, because I'm doing removal of possessions, and what exorcisms, right? That's the word. So I specialize in those things, and I don't like to do it. It's just that I know how, and when people have no other recourse, they come to me. And so far, I've been successful 100%, right? So far, in the last almost 50 years that I'm doing this. So it doesn't mean I will necessarily always be successful in this, right? But coming back to this person, he made the contract, and he, being human, they say, to make it's human to err, right? Humans can make a mistake, and with this, with the spiritual, they don't accept mistakes. This is something not forgivable. They will, take it very adversely, and they will take action, very serious action against you. So he broke his promise. I don't know in what way. He never, and I didn't want to find out. And he used to receive money in bags, the sport bags, full his commissions and so forth. That's how successful he was. He had multiple companies, multiple businesses, and selling a lot of stuffs. And also, I didn't want to go too deep. What warrants that level of, cash and so forth? But suffice to say that the spirit didn't take it kindly, and then he found everything locked in his life. He's still normal. He lost his business. He couldn't get any clients. He couldn't make any money, and he lost. I think he went from around 95 kg to around 55 kg when I met him. Right, he was around 55, not more than 60 kg, and he said he was big. He lost his health, and he's fearing that he may have, a terminal illness and so forth. And he asked if I'm prepared to help, and the help involved me going into lower dimensions, going into meditation, and visiting the, like how you would have mushrooms and visit alternate dimensions, but just doing it mindfully, right? I said, no problem, I'll help him out, I'll do it because I like a challenge, and I wanted to help him. And if someone needs help, I want to help. And he was, he didn't have cash to pay, but he wanted to pay me in something very valuable, that he had. And I said, okay. I mean, I wasn't desperate for anything, but I was prepared to even, help him for free at that time. And but he offered it, and I said, okay, no problem. So I had to go and have And in this world, I'm just saying it, because I'm sure all you guys might be very interested in it. So it is like a very dim lighting, it's going lower. There's just like the seven heavens, there are seven lower levels, right? So people say the seven hells and seven, when you're in the spirituality field, there are just different dimensions, and they are on lower levels or higher levels from our level, our earthly plane. So there are levels above and levels below. So these were the below, lower worlds, right? And had to go down to the last level, the bottommost level. And it was very dimly lit place. And the people there were all in serpent form, you know, and it's like cobras, were there. And then the main person that I had to speak to assumed a human form, very pleasant, and spoke amazing, very like a very dignified gentleman, civilized gentleman, well educated gentleman. Right? Whether he was Satan himself or not, I don't know. He never introduced. Come to think of it, did he give his name? I don't think he gave his name, or I don't remember. And we chatted and we came to some. Of course, there has to be agreement. So we came to some form of agreement, and they are very intelligent beings. They know what to offer. They know not to offer something to me that I'm going to reject, you know, to make a bargain uh, that I'm going to go for, to make it very pleasing, right? And very easy, right? Something that I would go for. And I knew that this is something that I must be able to maintain and keep. So, I mean, I struck the bargain. And thereafter, this person is he got freed up, business started to work again. He was able to support himself, and he moved, you know um, to his favorite country, and he started to and he gained a lot of. When I spoke to him that time, I still had my eyesight, and I spoke to him on video. I couldn't recognize him. I said, man, you gained so much weight, you're unrecognizable. He was laughing. So he regained his health even, right? So this is with mantras, because I saw that, the person I spoke to, he said he bought a book on witchcraft, and he recited someone who's using a mantra they found to influence someone's mind to fall in love with them and get infatuated, and it worked actually, but it worked too well, and he couldn't reverse it and so forth. So be wary of these things. Don't just play around with these things. This is not the normal world. This is not playing, Call of Duty, and put the switch the game off. It will not switch off, right? And when you now, it's a established fact, right? Or established, would say, accepted theory from overwhelming evidence of NDEs, near death experience, right, till today, where death is not the end, right? So if you do some research, you'll see so many reports, from people who had NDEs, right? And there's a lot of some, and of course, it's published in the scientific world, in the medical field. There's a book by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross on death and dying, right? It's still available, I'm sure, in Amazon. This when I was in medical school, it was a book prescribed to us, um, and of course, I went into it deeply because we're going to be dealing a lot with death and dying, right? And of course, I left that field and went, searching for alternative fields, and eventually, developed myself in entrepreneurship, and took my entrepreneurial skills and decided to utilize it in my passion when I turned 50, to turn my passion into a business, right? Which is energy healing and yoga and meditation, and improving people's health, longevity, overcoming illnesses, and so forth, right? This is my passion, and this has been my passion all the time. And when my ex-clients, I used to be in commercial brokerage, in corporate commercial brokerage on a premium level, international level as well. And clients spoke to me, and I said, no, asked what I'm doing. I said, no, I'm doing this full time, yoga, meditation, and energy healing. He said, wow, you should always speak, because every client I meet, I used to speak about, how they can improve their health. They must do mindfulness. They must at least do some type of walking exercise or something. I used to go very deeply in those type of discussions. And they said, hey, man, you at least now you're living and working in your passion, you know and so I was known for this passion all the time. And that's what my passion is, that there's so much of information out there, it's now dangerous, and these are accurate information that are available there. And this could be very detrimental, irreversible, right? I don't know if someone has a similar type of problem that I can keep reversing. How many contracts can I make, right? Eventually, I'm going to have to trade my own life over, and that's, for eternity. And that's not what I'm going to do. I don't mind dying for someone, giving my life for someone to save a life, because I know the death is not the end, and I will be going to a better place as a result of my sacrifice, hopefully. But not to give my soul, sell my soul to slavery for all eternity. That's not something that I'm prepared to do. And this is what is going to potentially lead to. Be very careful of these things. It's so nice to watch the movies, and you know I believe there's a movie called The Exorcist that my friend told me it even became banned because it was so realistic. And one of the actresses went insane as well, when she was enacting a certain scene and so forth. It became so vivid, and they brought it so close to reality that it affected people as well. And it affected a lot of people who watched those movies, and they banned it off the circuit. So, of course, once you say it's banned from the official channels. There's internet. I'm sure you guys are clear, smart. You can always find a version of it somewhere, you know. And I'm in this business, right? Energy healing and so forth, right? And my favorite genre of music when I was a child was horror movies. But when I grew into adult and understood this field and the science and all that, I'd never ever go and watch a horror movie, because I'm paying money to relax and to take my mind away and be entertained, not to go through a nightmare. And it's not so much fiction for me. Movies are very well researched, based on a lot of accounts, right? That could may very well be true, you know, based on and the way it's portrayed, because this is what makes a movie, right? As realistic as possible. I don't want to go through all that. This is something that even I don't market that side of my business. Only few people that know about this, they contact me, and that I can do it, or they ask, and I can't lie. I can't say no, I don't know how to do it. But it's not something I like to do. But I'm, you know, into this field, and I understand the consequences of it. And I mean, I'm now like almost 50 years, studying this field as well, and constantly increasing my knowledge on a daily basis, right? Till today. And I keep finding newer and newer things. So, what's the chances of you having insufficient information if you just pick up something? If me in 50 years I still don't have enough information, I'm saying there's so much to this, and there's so many hidden things and so many dangers and pitfalls. I'm very careful to steer away from danger and so forth, and I'm very cautious in this field, right? So I want you to also be cautious. Don't just play around. Do the normal things. There's so many normal things. There's AI. There's if even a lot of people are anti-AI, there's like games, right? VR, right? Play the games, have a drink, right? Relax, socialize. There's so much of social media. Watch stand-up comedy, Things like that, right? Hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.